What's up? Welcome back, eFunder Radio. It's your girl Shay Holmes here. And this is episode 2. If you did not catch episode 1 yet, be sure to go and check that out. It's on all of our Facebook pages and our business pages. We also have our YouTube channel as well, so be sure to go check that out. Got Terrence with me.
Hey.
You know, my boy Darvin.
What's up?
Shout out Gene. He couldn't make it, but definitely catch him on the next one. So, all right. So in this episode, we just gonna get into some of the meat of eFunder, right? And as we mentioned in the first episode, eFunder is a one-stop shop. I mean, we handle a lot of different things here when it comes to business owners in general. But today we're going to focus more on the commercial side. So, Terrence over here, I mean, come on now. Almost 2 decades in the real estate game, grown this business from the ground up. Already within almost, we only in almost month 7, and he's already at 6 figures. But we're going to keep that on the low, right? But,
Can I take out a loan?
I got you.
But overall, he just out here killing it. eFunder as a whole, but it's really because of all of Terrence's knowledge. He got that knowledge. He worked in the game, worked his way up, and that's why eFunder has been seeing the success that we are, that we've been, proud to just bring to light. You know what I mean? And basically, that's the whole point of eFunder Radio, is to just bring y'all the knowledge and the information that we know that a lot of you guys are looking for. So, Terrence, let's get started with just, some of the meat. You know what I mean? Let's talk about more about this commercial game and how everything works, when it comes to the commercial. So,
What we starting out with? What we going with?
we're going to start off with just the different types of loans.
Okay.
Just kind of give a brief breakdown, brief description on each loan.
All right.
Then we'll move forward from
All
there.
right, we got that. We can do that. I appreciate you, Shayla. You know what I mean? I appreciate you too over there, Darv. She's doing big things herself. So, keep up the great work. All right, so let's talk about different types of loans, all right? I mean, most people know that I guess, most people feel it's the sexiest loan out there. It's, that buy, fix, and flip loan because, everybody watch A&E flip this house and things like that. They want to go out and do it. Right. 30 minutes, an hour, you got a house flip, you're making all this money, Right. But that's one of the loans that we do here at eFunder because a lot of people, when you say commercial mortgage or commercial loan, they think like, okay, buildings and skyscrapers and development. But see, a commercial loan can also be for a 1 to 4 unit property. It can be for that single family home as long as it's an investment property. Duplex, triplex, fourplex, So when someone is looking for that buy, fix, and flip property, we can actually help you with that. A different type of loan is a cash out refinance loan. You might already own a property. You might have a ton of equity in that property. And by having a ton of equity, you can't spend equity. But we can help you squeeze that equity out and put it into your wallet. So you can go out, buy more real estate, make improvements, and do things of that nature. Those are the 2 major types of loans. And of course, purchase. So if you want to purchase a building, if you want to purchase that skyscraper, you need debt for development. You want to buy that single family home, that's an investment property. Just make it clear, we do not do residential, okay? I can always point you in the right direction for residential, but with the commercial loan, as long as it's an investment property, we can do purchases also. So basically, there's 3 main types of loans for real estate, and that's the purchase, that's the refinance, and basically, there's a refinance I call cash out refinance, because refinance it's a term, we call it rate and term. That's where you're not pulling out any money, okay? So purchase, refinance, rate and term refinance. Those are the best loans for real estate. We also do business loans. So if you're a business owner and you need working capital to keep your business going, that's something else that we do. So that breaks down the different loans that we
I don't think we should shy away from the residential, because we can get them in there some way, somehow.
Oh yeah.
We still can figure it out. Agents.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just don't say you don't do it. Just say, figure it out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're right. Because look, eFunder got a whole entire real estate brokerage also up under his belt. You know what I mean? So we do have real estate agents that can actually help get you into the house. You know, it just comes to when it's time to get that mortgage. No, you're right. So when it comes to that residential mortgage for that owner occupant, you know, just holler at us. We'll get it figured out.
Shy away from it.
Right. No doubt.
And I'm glad that you touched on that, Darvin, because, you know, one thing about Terrence is, you know, if he don't know it, he's going to figure it out. He's going to get that research in. He's going to put that time in to figure it out. So just know, whenever you come over here, you're in good hands, basically. Yeah. But lately, we've been seeing a lot of people, you know, coming to us, and some of y'all are prepared, and you know, will think you prepared, right? And you may have your business plan in order, and you may have, you know, that idea of what you want overall. But there are what I like to call the stepping stones, right, to get to that loan, to get you qualified. And I kind of want us to touch on that next. You know, what do you look for in that qualified client? And if somebody comes to you and you're not, you know, like you kind of looking and maybe they're not there, we're then going to go into what, you know, what they got to do, basically, to get qualified.
Exactly. All right, so if you want to come to us for a loan, all right, you know, you really do want to have your business together. And what I mean by that is have your corporate documents together, right? Your LLC, with your LLC, you get Articles of Organization, all right? I need both pages of that. Or if it's just on one single sheet, usually 1 to 8, you know, bring me that. I need an operating agreement. The operating agreement shows the percentage of ownership that you have within your business. If there's partners, it shows the partnership. That's very important to me because, well, it's something that we're going to discuss because are both partners credit worthy? If they're not credit worthy, maybe one is and one isn't, then we might have to make some adjustments on that operating agreement to be able to get the loan done. But that's something that we would actually sit down and talk about. We also need your EIN numbers. It's an SS4 form that they mail you. You need to bring me that. Normally, and it all depends on the type of loans, because I could do what you call no doc loans and also full doc loans. I like collecting enough information for a full doc if you have them, because this way, you know, I could take you whichever way makes sense. So say on a full doc loan, I need three years worth of tax returns, all right? So like we're in 2021 right now, I need your 2021, 2020, and your 2019. I need 3 months worth of bank statements. Just give me your last 3 months worth of bank statements. If you already had a business, 3 months worth of personal, 3 months worth of business. Even though the business is brand new, just bring me what you got, you know, according, you know, for that. What I also need is what I normally do. I have a website. It's eFunderCredit.com, okay? I want a copy of your tri-merge credit report. When you go to eFunderCredit.com, you pick the premium plan and you pull their 3B report. And this is what this does, okay? So let's say I got your loan package and I'm trying to size you up for a lender to do your deal. A lot of times these lenders, they will take your information, they will pull your credit, or it's a hard pull, just to see if you're credit worthy, right? I don't want them to do that to you. So let's just say I'm shopping you for 3 different lenders to try to get you the best rate for what it is that you're trying to do. So now if you do that soft pull, which is which you pull yourself, and I give them that tri-merge, they can see based off of that whether they want to do the loan or not. Now, if they decide that they want to do the loan, you agree to the terms, then they'll do a hard pull. So there's reasons for doing things like that. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else am I missing?
You might want to another thing I know, like just doing business is like make sure your documents is right. You gotta make sure the entity has the PA stamp on it. Make sure it's 2 pages if it's 2 pages. And another thing he was talking about is the eFunder credit. What's it called? The
eFundercredit.com.
It's not Credit Karma. So you gotta have the actual
right.
like you gotta have the actual reports. Like eFunder, the credit thing that he's talking about is basically gonna pull your exact score. It's going to break down everything that you had when your credit report. So it's not like Credit Karma's cool for the quick stuff and stuff, but it's not that. Like,
yeah, it's not for the lender.
Yeah, it's not
for the
lenders don't want to see Credit Karma. So I think that's a couple things that you touched on it, but I think people don't know how important that is to have the right scores, and you know what I mean. And also that credit score thing is actually really good for personal use. Like, cause I remember I caught myself on there playing with it one day, and it breaks down everything. Like, so.
Oh yeah, it definitely help get you right.
Yeah, it's a great tool to have. Like,
exactly.
So when you're looking for fraud and stuff, they'll alert you ASAP. So very good program. Yep.
As a matter of fact, another thing, you just want to make sure you have your photo ID for me. And then pretty much from there, once I get all the paperwork, now it's also about the type of deal that you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's just say you want to do that buy, fix, and flip. You bring me the information, but also your deal need to be right. Okay.
And I'm gonna stop you right there briefly, because that's what we're gonna get into next. Good deal versus a bad deal.
Woo!
And I know you want to touch on that too. So yes, let the people know. What are you looking for when you listen? Know the difference. Take notes. Go get that pen and pad ready so you can definitely know if you come into the table with a good deal, something that can work, or something that ain't quite there yet. So go get your pen and pad.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's take a deal from A to Z. First thing I want to see, and we touched on it about the operating agreement, and when we talk about eFundercredit.com, where's your credit score? Okay, I usually need for a fix and flip a 620 or better, right? If it's a simple like a refinance or a purchase, I need 680 or better.
Hold on, we gotta emphasize that.
Okay.
I want to slow down.
Yeah.
620 or better. Because people add. That's one of them. That's one of them questions. My score got high. What I need? 620 or better. It's not even 620. Is not even high. I mean, I think that's definitely something.
It's doable, right?
It's doable. You ain't gonna get the best. It ain't gonna get you the best rates, but like you just said, it gets you in the door.
Right.
You know. So.
But yeah, I just want to
make sure. Because now you got a 700. I mean, now you golden plus some experience. Oh man, you're really golden. But credit score needs to be there. All right. I get so many people talking about, but I got this great deal with all this equity or whatever. That's not going to get you a loan. You see what I'm saying? So credit score is one thing. Here's another thing I get a lot. Oh, I could pick up this house for $20,000 and it needs, $50,000 in rehab and it's worth, $100, or $120, Let me tell you what's wrong with that property. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with that deal. It's very, very lopsided. Okay. Yeah, you could pick up something for $20,000. All right. Well, first of all, most lenders have a minimum. Okay. Usually the minimum it's like $60,000 to $70,000. Most lenders, if it's less than $100,000, they won't even touch it, right? So
You get something that touch 50.
yeah,
Once in a blue
moon, you know what I'm saying? Once in a blue moon, right.
That's not the normal.
Yeah, because it's almost not worth the time. Yeah, I understand it's worth the time for, the consumer to be able to, or the business person to be able to try to flip that house and make money, but it's not necessarily worth the time and energy for the lender. So there's standards on the amount that they will loan. All right. So anything under really 50, 60,000, a lot of times we won't be able to do those. Okay. Now, also a lopsided deal. If you find a property that's for like 10,000, 20,000, but need 30, 50,000 worth of work, most lenders, pretty much all lenders, will not lend more than the purchase price. So like if you're bringing in something that's worth 20,000, which won't qualify anyway, and unless it needs another 20,000, who knows? Somebody might touch it. eFunder won't, but at least that's more doable. Now, if you bring a property that say it's let's flip it. Let's just say it's worth 70. The purchase price is 75,000. And it needs another 25,000 in work, or it needs another 30,000 in work. That's a doable deal, okay? The purchase price is more than the renovation. That's what lenders want to see. The purchase price is more than a renovation. And see, a lot of people don't understand that. So those are the things that we're looking for. The only time it could probably be a little more lopsided is if you're doing new construction. Yeah, we do that too. So because you're basically starting off with a piece of land, which you're probably going to end up getting cheaper, and then the construction part. So unless it's some kind of new construction, it needs to be right, okay? Another thing on that, and this might be diving in a little bit too deep, but when we look at a property, we like to look at the ARV of that property. That's the after repair value, right? And a loan should be no more than most of the time 70% of that LTV. Okay? So once again, let's just use easy numbers.
What's the LTV?
LTV. Loan to value. Okay, loan to value. So let's just say the ARV is 100,000 to make numbers easy. That means, we will only lend up to 70% of that. That means we will only lend up to 70,000 on that deal. Okay, so really, your purchase and your renovation needs to fit within that 70,000 for it to actually work. Yeah.
All right. So you kind of got a mixture of
hit everything
good,
on the head.
Yeah, the good and the bad. Laura, you want to add to that?
Yeah. So the stuff that he's talking about is basically, that's how you know you in good hands, because he's not going to allow you to step into a deal that's bad. So the stuff that he's talking about is going to give you the opportunity to make money, and it's going to give you the opportunity to get the money that you loaned back, and you'll be able to walk away with cash in your pocket. So some people out here that's brokers and stuff is not going to tell you that. They just want to make money off of the deal and let that be that. So you got to take everything he said, get you a pen and pad out, and you got to take notes, and you really got to evaluate the deals. So it might be a lot of shutting down, because you think it's a good deal, but it's really not a good deal. Take your time with it, figure it out, analyze the deals, and go from there.
Right, and based off the information that Terrence and Darwin are both giving, you'll know, start learning how to really break those numbers down. All of us up here are number people, so we got to know that the numbers make sense, right? So it's just, like I said, take your time, take your notes. The information is here, So, Darwin, I'm going to turn it to you now.
What's up? Talk to me.
And let's talk about basically tell the people about your experience with getting qualified. Now, before you got linked with eFunder, we kind of heard in the first episode, you know, some of those trying moments and them situations that you basically didn't know, you know, because you didn't know, you know what I mean? You didn't have the knowledge at the time. So now that you have that knowledge, tell the people what it really took for you and 300 Realty, your business, to get qualified, and basically what's the result, you know, like. Basically, we know that 300's out here killing it, you know, so let's shout them out, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Gene, my partner Gene. He ain't here right now, but shout out to
Definitely
Gene.
shout out Gene.
What we needed to get qualified. Okay, so it's a lot of trying points. So, like he said, you gotta have a score. You gotta have certain things in place. Like, another thing that Terry touched on, I don't think that we really digged in deep into, like, when you first make your LLC, you might want to go ahead and open up a bank account like ASAP, as soon as you get your EIN. He talked about it, but I think that's important because he's going to need those bank statements. Like, it don't matter if the bank, it doesn't matter if the business is not up and moving yet or you're not making money yet, but you still going to need those documents. So that, we really didn't have problems getting qualified. The problem was the right deal. Having that trust in, like, so once Terry evaluates your score or whatnot, getting qualified, he gonna find the money once you get the score. But the thing is just making sure the deal's right. So being qualified, that wasn't really the biggest issue with us. It's like, it's having that trust, because now you're dealing with thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's like, with Terry, it's like, with eFunder period, is with the trust, you know what I mean? So I don't think it was hard to get, qualified for the loan. Like, once you reach out, but you just gotta take note of everything that he said that you gotta have in place to get qualified. So we had a lot of those things. It didn't we didn't come to him with nothing. So that wasn't like getting qualified wasn't the hard. Like, that wasn't really.
Why do you think that is? Is it because you took your time to actually figure it out, and
Yes.
or right?
We took a whole year. We took a whole year just sitting back watching before we even made a move on a property. Like, we started, and I ain't even gonna say we even stopped. Like, we just was watching. We watched everything. We did a lot of research on stuff. So it was stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
On that research.
yeah, we definitely did a lot of research. Like, it took us a whole year to even close on our first property. So a lot of Terry will tell you in a heartbeat, like, a lot of shutting down, like, nah, that's not the right property. Like, so stuff like that.
Yeah. So to touch more on that, so you pretty much came to the game because you did your research.
Yep.
You schooled yourself, right?
Yeah,
Prior
definitely.
to linking up with eFunder. But you said the deals. So now I just want you to touch on, because I know y'all had the not so good deals, and then you got into deals that, are now flourishing, and, you done closed on them and, profited now. So just kind of touch on that a little more.
That basically comes down to eFunder though, like, because if eFunder allows you to get into a bad deal, that's gonna look bad on their company. So he's gonna comb through the deal and make sure that the deal is right. Like, when I first came to Terry, I'll say that's one of the trying parts. I didn't know the numbers thing. So that was something I was schooled up on, the whole 20%, the set. Like, I didn't know none of that.
LTV.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that stuff meant. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. LTV, ATVR, I was like, what? Like, what is the time?
All these letters, right?
Yeah, like all these acronyms and stuff. Like, I'm like, ATVs? Like, I know that. I didn't know. Like, so, but it's stuff like that. Like, it's just allowing you to give you the deal and be like, nah, that's not a good one. So it's stuff like that. Like, you would get a deal like he was saying, like, oh, I could buy this house for $20,000. You'd be like, no, you can't. Like, it's not gonna work. Like, you know what I mean? So deals like that. Like, it just makes sure that the deal was good. So
Why do you think so many people are trying to really jump into this game now and really kind of believe that they can just jump in the game and, oh, I want to buy that skyscraper, and that's why I brought up the stepping stones, because we know that y'all started off, with the non-owner occupied residential properties.
Yeah.
And now you're working your way up to the triplexes, right? So just kind of go through that process of how you kind of work your way up.
Like why people?
I'm just saying, like you said, you worked your way up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So there's so many people out here, they see how the commercial game is running and they just think they can just off top go off them, go after the bigger, the bigger fish, where y'all started with the smaller fish and now you're working your way up. So I just wanted you to kind of touch a little bit on that.
You basically, it's just about comfortability. Like, I mean, like you can't just jump in the game and just go straight to the sixplexes and the fiveplexes and stuff like that. It's all about comfortability. Like we started off with single families, we got comfortable with it. It was a lot of trying points, and then we did another single family and we blew through it. Like to the point the lady came and did the inspection and she was like, "Y'all move fast." I'm like, "Well, put that in the notes so the next time when we come asking for money, they see that we move fast." So, but then it's like comfortability. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, we just gonna jump." Like you gotta crawl before you walk. Like you can't just hop in the game and be like, "Yeah, let me go ahead and grab all these fiveplexes and stuff." Most people don't even know. Like once you get past 3 doors, that's a whole different loan. Like that, now you get into the commercial space. So like
different rates.
Exactly, different rates, different money down and stuff like that, different interest rates and stuff like that. So. I mean, there's stuff that you gotta know. Like, I advise everybody to start small. Like, and plus you play with a lot of money.
Right.
So.
You know what? Let me step in there. One of the things that you did mention that I didn't mention about a deal is because when you said about LTVs and all that, one of the things you also gotta realize, you have to put skin in the game. You know what I mean? You have to put skin in the game. Whether it's 20%, 30%, just depending on your level. See, a lot of people tend to think like, okay, I want a lender to fund 100% of it. I don't want to make no payments. And at the end, when I sell the property, then I'll pay the lender off, right? I'm not saying that that's not doable, but not through us.
And it's not smart, right?
Well, it's more or less like when you're good, like let's just say the way Darvin's career is going right now, Darvin and Jean, they're doing really, really good at what they're doing. Somebody might see what they're doing and come up to them and say, "You know what, Darv, I want to invest in you." And now that become that private lender. So they become that private lender. Now you don't really need eFunder no more. They may fund 100% of your deals and things like that. But until you get to that point, you will always put skin in the game, all right? Normally on a buy, fix, and flip property, you're usually going to put down a minimum of 20%, okay? So what that means is if a property is $100,000, all right, usually we will fund 80% of that. That's at the minimum, all right? Now, if you don't have the experience and stuff like that, you might be putting 30% down, all right? But then we'll fund 100% of the renovation. So let me explain to you what that means. So if it's a $100,000 property, maybe you need $50,000 in rehab because you have to repair value of that maybe, say, $200 or $250, right? So the purchase price is $100,000 and we're going to fund it 80% LTV. You will bring $20,000 that you have to put down plus your closing costs, okay? Now.
That's huge. That's closing costs. Like that is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to need more than $20,000 basically. Now the $50,000, which is the renovation, we'll give you 100% of that. We'll fund 100% of the renovation, but I want you to understand how it works. You will start with your money. So let's just say you're getting 5 draws. So that's $10,000 a draw. When you start your project, you're going to put in $10,000 worth of work. And then once you put in $10,000 worth of work, The lender will have somebody come out, inspect the property. They see that there was $10,000 worth of work done, then they will reimburse you that $10,000, and you just keep operating off the lender's money after that. See what I'm saying? So I just really want you to understand how this works. And then a lot of times your LTV, it is going to depend on experience. So what a lender look at as experience is, how many flips do you have up under your belt, or how many rentals have you purchased? And the thing is, let's just say you purchase, you might have 10 rentals and you did 20 flips. But if you haven't did those in the last 3 years, you're a beginner. You see what I'm saying? So what they want to see is, how many flips have you done within the last 2 or 3 years? How many rentals have you bought in the last 2 or 3 years? Usually 3 or more will get you to better financing, because now they see you as being experienced, right? So who knows? Now you may get up to 90% LTV, right? Say you got that great credit score, usually I want to say like 720 or better, and the experience. Now let's just say on that same deal, instead of bringing $20,000 to the table plus closing, you're only bringing $10,000 to the table plus closing costs. So just kind of keep that in mind. And just, when you're looking at your deals, if it's your very first deal, you're going to be coming to the table with a little bit more money compared to somebody that's experienced.
It's a big thing that we did not talk about before you get to all that.
What's that?
Scope of work.
Oh, yes.
How did we forget the scope of work?
You're right.
Yeah, how did we forget the scope of work?
We need that.
So before you even get started with anything he said, just to rewind it a little bit, you're going to need a scope of work. So I'm going to break down what a scope of work is for you. A scope of work is basically the details of what you're going to do to this property. So that basically means everything. If you're going to add a roof on it, you got to put it on a scope of work. If you're going to put new carpet, new paint, new drywall, electricity work, whatever, you're going to put this all in your scope of work. And when you come up with your scope of work, you might want to add like a miscellaneous on every part of your draw in your scope of work. So the draw is what he was talking about. And I think that's another thing we need to touch on too, because people don't know what draws are.
Right.
So draws are basically like you're going to get your money every time you complete a milestone in your project, you're going to get a draw. So the lender will give you some money. The lender's going to give you money. That's how your project keeps flowing. But you definitely need a detailed scope of work, and they got to be detailed. Like you can't just be like, oh, we going put paint on the walls and that's it. No, you got to it takes time to do a scope of work too. Like it's not like you got to walk through your properties. This is if you want to do it right and you want to be successful and you want to make money. Because if you go into a deal and there's no scope of work, like you might get your lending, but then now you just throwing money in the sky. Like you need to know what you're doing and how you're gonna do it, and where you gonna go about it. Like
where the money's going.
Yeah, where the money's going, like who you paying and all that. Like I can't believe we forgot about.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
we
why
forgot
it
about
is.
it.
No. You
talking about all this.
Right. Yeah. I did. You right. I skipped that whole part. But you're right. A detailed scope of work is so important, because when you're doing a buy, fix, and flip property, or even a buy, fix, and rent, you can refinance it just to rent it out. But to be able to get that renovation money, that scope of work needs to be very, very detailed of what you're going to do, like he said, and the cost. See, we got to justify that $50,000, right? Because, and let me tell you, just like Darvin was saying, like, okay, you could be I'm going to put in a new kitchen, X amount of dollars. I'm going to put in a new bathroom, X amount of dollars. But you know what? The more detail that you actually get in your scope of work, because see, when you pay for that appraisal, and that appraiser comes to that property, he's going to have that detailed scope of work. And I'm going to put in a kitchen. He don't know what kind of kitchen you're putting in. So he might just put renter grade kitchen, and that's going to lower your appraisal. Whereas say you're going to put in cherry wood cabinets with dovetail and soft closed doors. Okay, that's the upper echelon of, cabinetry. So now your appraiser is going to come up a little bit higher. So the more detailed that you can be, or the type of finishes that you're going to be putting in that property, the better off it'll help you on your ARV, your after repair value.
And why don't you touch a little bit on the comps? I know you mentioned that in episode 1, because I know that kind of plays a part, as well. So just kind of give a brief description.
Yeah, so Terry taught me how to really pull comps. Like, I was pulling comps all wrong. So when you're looking for a comp, you basically want to break down. You basically want to find comps within what, a half a mile radius?
Yeah.
A half a mile radius, and the comp got to be something similar to what you're trying to do to your project. So, and for anybody who don't know what a comp is, that's the comparables in the area. So with the comparables, that's going to be able to determine how much you can sell it for, how much you can rent it for, how much you can refab for. So you have to look for strong comps. So yeah, you basically like whatever you feel comfortable using, Zillow, whatever, one of them type of sites. You just want to type in the address. When you go to the bottom, they have like all the houses that's within I think on there is a 3 mile radius, and you could take a look at what's in the area. And honestly, you might want to look at comps before you even start looking at the properties, just to see what's in the area, because basically that's what Terry's going to do, and that's going to determine whether the project's even worth it or not. So the lender's going to look at the comps and see if the money's even there to be made. So you definitely want to get your comp game up and really, really, really just know what you're looking for. But once you do it, like I've only been doing this for probably like 2-3 years, and I could just tell you what the area is worth now. I don't really even have to look at comps. I could just be like, Penn Hills, I can get $225. So I could just Wilkinsburg, we still waiting for Penn Ave. We still waiting for Penn Ave to move. So y'all put a Whole Foods in Wilkinsburg, that thing could jump. But
right?
Yeah. So we might have to talk to the mayor Dante and see if we can get a Whole Foods in Penn Hills. I mean in Wilkinsburg. We get a Whole Foods and a Starbucks, it's on. We can make it work. So but after you start looking at comps, Pittsburgh's only but so big. I can tell you off the top of my head, East Liberty, you can get in. Good luck, because there's money to be made in East Liberty and Garfield and Lawrenceville and Bloomfield, but you just gotta be able to get in. But comps is something you gotta. Once you start doing this, you'll be able to just know, So that's one thing about the comps.
Plays a part,
Yeah, definitely. And then Terry gonna look at the comps again, even after.
Yeah, the deal got to make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we're gonna look at the comps again.
Yep. So that definitely plays a part. So I hope y'all taking notes, because this is some good stuff here.
Yeah, people pay for this.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. See,
I can tell you what I used to charge.
We about to start it back up. We about to start it back up.
But,
this ain't gonna be free for too much longer.
Right.
You already.
Right, and that's why I said, y'all learning from the best right now. So definitely take advantage and take these notes before you just get out here and jump, you know what I mean, in the game, because we're definitely giving y'all them stepping stones to a loan, right? So definitely. So is there anything else y'all want to touch on, give a little insight, advice? We definitely gave a lot, but
Well, you know what? One thing I do want to say, because I am seeing a lot of I call them young bloods out here. They are out here doing the business. You know what I mean? I don't know, a lot of them personally, but I see people out there doing their thing. What's that group? Steel City. The real estate group. Steel City Real Estate. The Facebook group.
Yeah.
Steel City Real Estate, right? Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I'm seeing guys in there.
Shout out to Darnell Barron. He's the one that run that.
Great group.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing these young guys out here doing their thing, and they're doing it without even knowing me or none of us, and they I can see that they're taking the time. you know? And everybody I know don't necessarily take the time. Sometimes you just gotta go out there and bump your head to figure it out, you know? But I just want you all to know that we're a resource. eFunder is a resource. Darth and 300 Realty is a resource. You know what I mean? Reach out to me. Reach out to Shayla. Reach out to Darth. I hear Gene now. I'll reach out to Darth. But
reach out to me. No, but yeah, like we're very accessible, man. We willing to, you know, teach anybody who want to be taught, anybody who want to learn it. It's not easy. Like I said, this ain't for the lazy. This ain't for the weak. Now we're gonna have to charge you. You want us to walk you through the whole thing from beginning to end, like, 'cause it ain't gonna be that. Like you can reach out, but if you want somebody to hold your hand, it's gonna be a babysitting fee. But
You good, man.
and shout out to a couple people too in Pittsburgh that's doing anything. Greenwood Realty, I think that's the name of their. It's an African American gentleman. He got a mentorship program. It's pretty dope what he do. He like walk people through their deals, but he charges as he should. Shout out to Michelle too. Michelle, she helped us get in. Michelle Watkins, she's a real estate agent and a big investor. Like she like flies under the radar, but she do her thing. Shout out to Carl Valenti. That's a good friend of mine. I went to high school with. Every time I call him, he just tells me what I need to know. It's a lot of people in Pittsburgh doing their thing, man. There's a couple people that's not. Shout out to Blig. We got a lot of mutual friends. I never met him personally, but I go on his page for inspiration. That dude his flips and his joints is next level. Like to the point I want to get there one day. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like I look at his properties and be like, yo, like next level. Like just shout out to a couple people that's doing their things. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but I watch all y'all pages. You know what I mean? Just for inspiration, certain looks and stuff like that. But like
it's
Terry,
only episode 2, so you got time to do more shout outs.
But yeah, like Terry said though, man, we very accessible. Shout out to Jeremy. He gonna make sure our emails is at the bottom when I say we're accessible. You know what I mean? Because that's what he do. You know what I mean? On the editing and filming tip. But like Terry said, we're accessible. If you want to call, if you want to chat, or you want to get in, you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. Let us know. Like, and I think we need to highlight that we're just not here for real estate though, man. We gotta make sure people know.
Right.
We gotta make sure people know. We ain't just here for houses. Like,
business owners. You know what I mean? Like, you need that business funding to do what you need to do.
You want to sell weave?
Yeah. Oh, you said weave. All right.
Weave.
I thought you said something else. Wait a minute, hold on. I ain't hear the legally. Well, yeah.
But we ain't here for that. We ain't doing that. We want to be federally regulated. What y'all talking about?
Some CBD.
I said here.
That's all good. I got you. That's what's up.
But yes, we're definitely going to touch on everything that eFunder does, and soon we're actually going to be announcing a new product that we just recently added on. Not quite ready for launch just yet, but it's definitely going to take off and definitely elevate eFunder even more.
I hope I'm the first person in line for the new. We'll talk about it.
You got people quiet for now, but no, definitely stay tuned, for our episodes, because we're definitely going to be touching on a lot of different things. And like I said, this episode we just wanted to more so focus on the commercial side, because we know a lot of people, as Darvin mentioned, are out here killing it, and we just know a lot of people that want to get started, right? So we hope. And we know that this information was valuable, so definitely take your time. Watch it many times as you need to until you feel comfortable to get out there.
You're going to have to, with all the numbers and stuff, they're going to have to watch it.
That's right.
Y'all going to have to run this back a couple times.
Months might not be enough, so definitely, run it back. But we're here. This is episode 2. Definitely go back and check out the episode, our first episode, episode 1, where we just more so, talk more about eFunder and what all we do. But yeah, next episode we'll definitely dive deeper into the business loans, business credit. And yeah, I mean, we just out here just ready to help as many people as we can. So, T, Darvin, anything else y'all want to add?
Well, I was just gonna say, just like I said before, there's a lot of people out there really doing their thing, and they're being very, very successful in the real estate game already, and without our help, without our knowledge, but just know that we're open. You know what I mean? Because who knows? Me and you have a conversation, and maybe I could say something to make your business even better. There might be some things that you're not thinking about. I met with a guy, a couple of days ago. We had a great conversation. He actually taught me something. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, your knowledge is valuable to me also. So, yeah, like Dar said, like Shayla said, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, we're here. Dar, we want to add on anything for the people?
No, that's it, man. Look out for episode 3. Like I said, we're going to talk about more. Let's get to it.
All right, definitely. So y'all take care. Definitely go check out episode 1. Then follow up with this episode. Check out our YouTube page. For right now, you can check out Terrence's YouTube page, which is what, Terrence Young or?
eFunder.
eFunder. Yeah.
I gotta get we'll get Jeremy to link to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we do have our eFunder YouTube channel, but we're definitely, working on that. And like I said, you can catch us all on Facebook. We all have our personal pages and business page, eFunder 300 Realty. And we'll be back, so stay tuned.
And feel free to ask any questions.
Yes. Comment.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Put some questions that we can answer in the next episode. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Questions in there.
Yep. Anything y'all want to know? Questions, comments, whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll be back.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.